Let's face it, the corporate world is a jungle, and there's some things that school and textbooks can't teach you. So in this video, we're going to talk about what are those corporate survival skills that you need to know to exceed or excel in your organization. There's a lot of dangers when it comes to the corporate world, and the most common threat in the office are things like bad bosses, office politics, critical deadlines, overwhelming stress, and awkward social situations. So let's jump into what survival skills you need to know. And don't forget, if any of these are helpful, leave a thumbs up or let me know in the comments below if there's a survival skill that you would add to this list. The first skill is having a minimum communication toolkit. That is, being able to communicate with other people effectively, efficiently, and getting your point across with as minimal effort as you can. The first skill that you want to master is listening. Can you actually hear what people are saying? Then the other set of communication tools that you need to master is verbal, written, and non-verbal communications. The easiest way to improve your communications is to get feedback from colleagues, somebody that you trust, or maybe a group of people that you trust. Ask them questions like, how did I do? Is there any critique that you would give me? The other thing that you can do to improve your communication skills is taking workshops and classes, things that you can actually learn different techniques for how to communicate more effectively, whether it be your pacing of your conversation, how you use your hands, especially in a presentation, like what do I do with my hands? With practice and dedication, you too will be able to master the art of minimal communication and exceed in the workplace. The second survival skill is knowing when to care. Most of the time, you really shouldn't care at work, and I say this as someone who's been working for 10 plus years. Most of the stuff that you're doing, unless you're a heart surgeon, is not really that important. So what happens is a lot of times when students come fresh out of college, they look at the world and they care too much. They want to be over-invested, they want to be doing all these things, but at the end of the day, you probably should be caring a little bit less than how you currently feel. It's essential to find balance in things that you're passionate about and things that you're not passionate about. But what happens is if people sometimes care too much, it starts to weigh on their mental health because you don't have any control over how your organization does. You can only control what you specifically do in your role. It's hard to have that balance or have that ability to kind of feel grounded or feel at peace if you aren't able to control the outcome. So how do you care less in your role? How do you remain grounded in the work that you're doing? The first thing is you want to prioritize. You want to make sure that you are aware of what is important to you, what's important to your role, and what's important to your specific team, not the holistic organization, but what's specific to your team is important. The second thing that you want to do is you want to set boundaries. So once you know what's important, you want to be able to put boundaries around that and say, here are the working hours that I'm going to continue working on this. Here's how much time I'm going to invest in this. Here's how much money I'm going to invest in this. Whatever that looks like, you want to make sure that you're able to set boundaries for yourself to make sure that you're able to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. The third survival skill that you need to master is fighting effectively. Conflict is inevitable at every organization. It just depends on how well you are able to navigate conflict. And as somebody who has gone through a lot of conflict at work, it's very easy to learn on the job how you fight effectively, who you fight with, and what battles that you choose to take up. And sometimes those fights become personal, where if you disagree with somebody professionally, maybe they decide to take it to a personal level and it becomes a personal kind of struggle that both of you are having, or you want to fight against each other. So if you find yourself in a situation, you want to learn how to fight effectively without ruining your professional reputation. The first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you maintain composure, which is to say that everything that you do is a professional reflection of who you are. The second thing is you want to listen. You want to listen to be able to resolve the conflict as speedily as you can. And the third thing that you want to do is you want to choose your battles. What I have found is in my own professional career, there are people who I disagree with, there are people who want to pick fights with me, and if I decide that I don't want to fight them, I decide I don't want to fight them metaphorically, not physically. A lot of times that drama is what people want, and I'm not really a dramatic person, so you just have to kind of understand what are the battles that you're willing to fight, what are the things that you're willing to be wrong about, and then choosing, kind of navigating and choosing your fights carefully. The fourth skill that you want to master is understanding the difference between professional and personal. You may have noticed this, the further up that you move in an organization, and if you look at, let's say as an executive as an example, the further that you move up within an organization, your professional ambitions and your personal ambitions start to overlap in a very major way. When you first start out in your career, your personal and your professional ambitions are very separate. You want to take a vacation to Maui, but you also want to get a promotion. Those are very separate items. When you grow up and you move up in an organization, oftentimes those goals tend to overlap a lot more. What you need to learn, or what you need to master, is understanding the difference between what your professional life is and what your personal life is. Because if you don't intentionally set those boundaries or compartmentalize each of those segments of your life, they're going to start to bleed into one another, and you're not going to be able to tell the difference between what's personal and what's professional. So here are some things that you can do to find balance. The first thing is leave work at work. Very rarely is your job so important that you need to bring it home. Maybe on occasion you might have a big project or a big event that you're working on, but on the whole, you don't really need to bring it home. Second, you want to prioritize self-care. It's kind of like that airline saying, put on your mask before helping somebody else. You want to prioritize your self-care before you help other people. And you want to be present. You want to be able to say, if I'm at work, I'm present at work. If I'm at home, I'm present at home. If I'm with my family, I'm present with my family. Practice being very intentional about where you're dedicating your time and who you're dedicating it to. The fifth skill that you want to practice is learning about your creative switch. In every organization at every level, you're going to have some degree of creativity. Someone's going to say, come up with a creative idea to do blank. Come up with an idea to do this. It happens at every level. You want to make sure that you know how you can get yourself to that creative level where you can just start spitting out creative ideas. If you haven't practiced this skill yet, it's pretty fun, I think, to be at home and just kind of go through some creativity exercises to boost your own creativity so you know how to tap into it when it's required in the future. Some things to help that along is finding your rhythm, finding the pace in which you come up with new ideas, trying new things that you've never done before, getting weird, getting uncomfortable, collaborating with people, and then just having a notebook ready so that when you have ideas that come to you, you can write them down right away. These are the survival skills that I have. Let me know in the comments which ones that I've missed, which ones that you have on a daily basis, which ones you think are important for people to do. And if you're looking for different ways to grow your career, check out this video I have on career goals, sculpting your career goals, things like that. And with that, I will see you on the next one.